if you are blaming trauma that you have from cis men on trans women, that shows how you really see trans women, and that is super transphobic.
This is what you all sound like when you're talking about your genital preferences. It's not my fault that I'm only attracted to men. A lot of people have preferences for and that doesn't make me transphobic. Are trans men not men?
Did you know that you don't need to sleep with trans men in order to affirm them as men? Bug Angel looks like a man, 100%. When I tell some of my Danish friends who don't know anything about this debate that Bug is a biological female, they don't believe me. So socially, they see him as a man. But they don't need to sleep with him in order to prove that they see him as a man.
I never said that they weren't. I just have a preference for specific genitalia, and sleeping with a man without that would make me uncomfortable. You don't think that your inability to feel attraction toward anybody but strictly cisgendered bodies is rooted in transphobia?
It is simply not true that you can, by unlearning transphobia, be attracted to somebody's genitals. Nature and biology determine sexual attraction, not political blackmail. You cannot change how you feel about a set of genitalia. What you can change, however, is how you feel about your genitals and body. I know I have, and it makes me think of today's sponsor. Getting the Enigma Wave from LELO will definitely improve your experience with self-pleasure. What I love most about the Enigma Wave is due to its 3 powerful motors. You will experience a triple stimulation that leads to intense pleasures and amazing blended orgasms. The first motor is for the G-spot and moves like a subtle wave, fusing satisfying inner stimulation with teasingly fun, deep sensations. The second motor has sensational vibrations, and the third provides sonic pulses, fast yet gentle clitoral stimulation for immense pleasure. This is definitely high quality, it's super soft and also flexible. It's elegant, so I highly recommend this product. I'm sex and sex toy positive because I believe that it's a great way to really connect with your body and learn more about yourself. Now you can enjoy a powerful sonic wave stimulation on the clitoris, while the insertable tail moves inside of you for an all-encompassing G-spot massage. Or click the link in my description. Thank you LELO for sponsoring this video and for giving me the Enigma Wave. Now onto the video.
Not transphobic. I support trans people, but that doesn't mean that I have to want to sleep with you. And you don't think the way that you've now centered this conversation in a way that makes me seem sexually predatory for simply asking you and other cis people to analyze the way that you've been taught to base people's worth around their genitals is based in transphobia?
What she's saying is extremely complicated, so let's break it down. You don't think the way you've now centered this conversation in a way that makes me seem for simply asking you and other cis people to analyze the way you've been taught to base people's worth around their genitals is based in transphobia. Okay, so what she means is she's upset that some people think that she's creepy when she's being creepy, and the only reason she's creepy is due to other people's transphobia. I think that's what she means. When we talk about genitals and trans people, their genitals are extremely irrelevant. Of course, there is more to us than our genitals, but nobody disagrees with that. It sounds like you want all people to be pansexual, which is not a real thing, it's bisexual, but for straight people. It means that you don't really care about gender, and you care more about personality, or something like that. You're more attracted to people's personalities. And the reason why it's not the same as being bisexual is because pansexual means that you can be attracted to all genders. And I've heard so many straight woke people who call themselves pansexuals because they want to be interesting. They want to call themselves queer without being same-sex attracted or dealing with gender dysphoria. And if you only date the opposite sex, so what? You can still identify as pansexual. You can't or shouldn't force people to not care about genitals or a person's sex. It's creepy, it is stupid, and if people are calling you out for it, maybe you deserve it.
No, because if I slept with someone with a vagina, then that would make me bisexual. Never mind, you're right. Your allyship is impressive. Thank you so much.
So you get mad at people for not obeying you? Being a great ally nowadays is almost impossible, because the definition is always changing in this community. But I'm starting to think that if you're being called a bad ally or not an ally at all, you're most likely smart and reasonable. Because if you're not pleasing these people, you're probably doing something right. If you didn't know, you don't owe these people any explanation to why you don't want to date a trans person. Some have experienced trauma with an eggplant, so they don't want to be near an eggplant ever again. Makes total sense, right? But according to this trans activist, it's not an excuse.
So first off, parts preferences are transphobic because attraction is not based on what parts you have. We all feel attraction well before we know what parts someone has. You're not going around asking Tinder matches what parts they have.
The only thing you're right about is you can be attracted to someone with clothes on who you don't know is trans yet, but that doesn't mean anything because when they tell you that they're trans and they don't have the parts that you want them to have, you're not attracted to that person anymore. Sexually attracted to them. That's how I feel because there's so many handsome trans men in the world. I can be attracted to them with clothes on because they look great and they're charming, but I could never sleep with them. It wouldn't make sense to ask your Tinder matches what is in between their legs because you of course assume they have all the right parts. A straight woman will assume that all her Tinder matches are men. So if a trans man is on Tinder, it's his responsibility to disclose that he's trans and doesn't have an eggplant. Well, maybe not on the profile, but in a conversation on Tinder.
Also, I find parts preferences are transphobic because most people assume that a certain type of smex has to be happening with certain parts. They're like, oh, I could never date a trans woman. I can't do PIV. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. And I've dated several trans women. It's not really, it's very cis-normative ideas of what smex looks like. Like, parts don't even have to be involved. It's making the assumption that someone's parts have to be involved, usually in a certain way.
Oh, I get it. So it's about the trans person and how they feel about being rejected. So non-trans people have to date them in order to make them feel better? Because you cannot assume that they want to use their genitals with a partner. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. It is not a human right for trans people to sleep with people who are uncomfortable with their genitals. No matter who you are, no matter what you identify as, if you don't want to sleep with someone, you don't have to. Your body, your choice.
The last one is I see a lot of people being like, oh, I have too much trauma. I couldn't date someone with these parts. And it's like, if you are blaming trauma that you have from cis men on trans women, that shows how you really see trans women, and that is super transphobic.
I think someone is going to hell. And it's not me. Disgusting statement. So what you're saying is, oh, you've experienced trauma with an eggplant? I don't care. It's not an excuse. She is right about something. The women who've experienced trauma with an eggplant see trans women biologically, physically as men if they still have the eggplant. It's almost like it's the truth. Maybe real trans women live a different life than regular men, but they're still biological men. And if they didn't get bottom surgery, I hope that this woman knows that she's not speaking for any transsexuals. I don't even think that most trans activists agree with her, but maybe I'm wrong. They do get more and more extreme. Thank you all for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want to support my work, my PayPal is in the description down below, but no pressure whatsoever, because I'm already super grateful for all of you. Remember, you can become a member of this channel. We have so much fun, so come join us. Follow me on Twitter and Rumble, and I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.